Okay, so this week we are discussing ArrayList. Let me open the chat on the side so that I have an idea of your understanding. Okay, we have ArrayList. You have seen arrays. Arrays are, tell me about arrays. First, you guys tell me about arrays. Use the chat. Tell me what is an array. You can unmute and talk. What is an array? Or if you want to use the chat. What do you think will be the drawbacks for an array? Is there any particular drawbacks? Because we have an array list right now, which is an extension, or I would say an improvement in arrays. So what do you think was required improvement? Drawback is that it doesn't have an unlimited size. Huh. Arrays are less, and the drawback is it doesn't have an unlimited size. More answers. What is an array? To understand array list, you need to understand, you must know what is what were arrays. If you recall, there will be some slides which will recall what is an array. So yeah, array is a list. What arrays does, how you declare an array, you create int square brackets equals a equals to new int, and then you tell the size. The difference or the advantage or disadvantage about arrays were that they were not, just read this code. Write a program that reads a file and display the words of that file as a list. So you're reading a file and you're displaying all the words as a list. First display all the words, then display them with all plural sign ending like which is ending capital, ending S. Then display them in reverse order, then display them with all plural words removed. Should we solve this problem using an array? Why or why not? Take a look. Should we solve this using an array? Yes or no? At least use reactions and do thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think? Yes or no? This question is a combination of file processing as well. You guys will be like, what file processing? Or so what, we cannot solve this one with an array because is, take a look. How many words do we have in the file? We have no idea how many words this file can store. So when you are reading the words and displaying it as a list, it means this is the thing you have to do. You have to create a string and a string of arrays. You create, give a name, and then you set a number, which is, for example, you set a limit, for example, 1000. Then you says int word count equals to 0. And you're starting counting the words, removing the words, adding the values. What if, like, at this code, we have no idea how many words were there? Maybe there were only 3 words. Rest of the space is wasted. Maybe there were 2000 words. There, it will only read 1000 and it will not read rest of the 1000 words. So that's where we have disadvantages with arrays. Sometimes we are wasting our memory space. Sometimes it's not even counting it. Sometimes it's not taking our full space we need. So you need to set the size. Setting size when you don't know how many space you even need, that's where the disadvantage is, because we don't want to waste the memory. So here we have array list with the advantage or the flexibility, I would say, of having the memory size. How to create an array of appropriate size. So what array lists are in Java, what you will see from now on, especially, it will be the collection framework. So collection are an object that stores, so known as data structures. They're called elements. Objects are called elements. Sometimes you will see different names like elements, sometimes you say objects. So these are the names. Some collection maintain an ordering, some allow duplicates. Typical operations: add, remove, clear, contain. So they will be, Java has a collection framework, right, which we will discuss in this course. So all these collection framework, as you can see over here, they are the class libraries in Java. There are already built-in classes. So linked list class is already created, ArrayList class is already created, hash map, tree map, queue, stack, they are already created. They are in java.util package. And what you need to do is, you just need to call the java.util package when you are creating or calling those methods. If there are classes of these methods, it means there are multiple methods already built in of these methods, like add, remove, as you have seen, typical operations, add, remove, clear, contains, they're already built in. You just need to call and do your code or complete your task. Okay, so this is what Java collection framework looks like. As you can see, Java collection interface is list. In list, we have two categories, linked list and array list. And then we have set. In set, we have hash set, tree set. One is sorted, the other one is not. Same with map, we have two map. One is the sorted map, and one is without sorting. So a sorted tree map and hash map. Similar kind of scenarios, okay? So we are discussing array list coming from the list category. So what is a list? A list is just like a collection, just like a list you create for your groceries, your shopping list. It's like a list of all the tasks you need to complete, right? So, but there are some rules of that list. As you can see, there's some flexibility in the list. You can add in the middle, your front, back, you have like, you can go adding the values anywhere you want in the list. Here's some advantages: a collection, storing an ordered sequence of elements. Each element is accessible by zero index, base index. So there is no going back that, no, I don't want to start with zero index. I want to start with index 10 or index 11. No, there is no such case. The first value will always be at zero index. You will start with zero and you can keep on adding as many values you want. A list has a size. So we can always ask for how big our list is, because as with arrays, there was a size limit and you were the one setting the size, or user was setting the size. But over here, as array lists are flexible, we have no idea like how many values to the user has added so far. So you can always check the size of your array list to run the loop. Elements can be added to the front, back, or elsewhere, can be represented as array list objects. Now, the concept of object is that there is, when you say that there is an array list object, you have to create, it means array list class is already created. So when you are creating an object of something, there must be a class of that object, because without a class, you cannot create an object. So let's take a look. So over here, like from now on in these slides, they will be doing a comparison of arrays and array list. So rather creating an array of boxes, create an object. So remember, if you recall, this is how we were creating arrays. And if I have to do it quick, the default behavior was to, we were doing curly braces to add more values, right? So if I have to add multiple values, I was using this, or I was doing curly braces. But with array list, you need to call methods to add the values. These are the bunch of methods already built in. You don't need to, it's not hard to memorize. You don't need to worry about it. As you will do more programming questions on ArrayList, they will be on your fingertips. As you can see, they are like the basic methods which you will see in the future in linked list class, in stacking queues, in collection framework of maps, etc. As you can see, add just simple value, add the value, add index and value. You're telling the index and the value that this is the index, add this value at 0 index or at index 5. Then there's a clear method if you want to remove, just a simple clear. You don't have to remove one by one. But if you want to clear the list, you just call clear and it will clear the value. Index of, if you, for example, I want to ask like whether there is a value, for example, index of student somewhere. For example, if you have a record of students, you say index of Stuart, so index of John. So they will return me the index. Okay, John is at index 0, index 10, index 11, depends. So it will give you the index of that value. Get, you're sending the index, it means get the value at this index. So these two are like the opposite. When you're sending the value, it is giving you the index. When you're giving the index, it's giving you the value. Okay, but you need to understand or learn or memorize that which method is displaying what. Set, for example, you want to set this index with the value. I will can anyone tell me before I go over what's the difference you think by reading these instructions? Add and set. What do you think is the difference of add and set? Add doesn't replace anything. Yes. Same index value. Add doesn't put it in the add is putting on the same index value as you're passing the this one. Sorry. Second add, when you have the index and the value. So you're giving the index to the add that, hey, add, set this um, index with this value. So what's the difference with set? Set is doing the same thing, index and value. Yes, what add is doing is, since set is replaced. So when you add a value like this in the middle of a list, so you are pushing the values forward. So for example, let me text. Okay, so for example, this is your array. 2, 4, 6, 7. This is your array, and with add index comma value. This is at 0 index, 1, 2, and 3. And I say add 1 comma 9. So it means this is 1, index 1, 4. So if I do add 1 comma 9, it will do 1, sorry, at index 1, it will say 9, like this. And rest of the values are pushed forward. But with set, what will be the answer? If you have the same 6 comma 7 and you're calling set index comma value, same index is 1 comma 9, what will be the answer? What will be the answer for this one? Yes, 2967, as 4 will be replaced like this. So there is no 4, just like you have in with the add index and value. These are a bunch of more methods: add all, contains, equals, remove, remove all, retain, sublist. You will need all of these methods. You will definitely use all of these methods in your programming questions with ArrayList. So you can come back and forth to check your PowerPoint slides for a list of these methods, which method you can use. As the ArrayList is an object now, you cannot do equal sign with any of the values. Whenever you're comparing two objects or list values, you have to use equals to compare two lists, or if you want to check the list. Contains all, add all, remove everything. These are all with another list. So you can, when you are working with two lists, read the description, utilize according to your need. We will be doing some programming questions. There are 2 programming videos posted. I have utilized all these methods, like not all of these, but according to my requirement. But if you see more easiest way, more efficient way of doing those code, you're welcome to make changes. Welcome to have your own version of your code. Okay, any questions so far regarding any array list, what we have discussed? Any questions? So here is how you display or create an array list. You write capital array as Java is case sensitive, capital L array list, angle brackets, and you tell the type. What type of array list you want? String, integer, double, what type? And then you give a name. Then you say equals new array list type, open close parenthesis, and semicolon. If you recall, this is the same way you create an object. Whenever you have a new keyword, it means you're creating an object. What is the object name? This is the object name. And what is the type? This is the type. And open close parenthesis and semicolon. So this is an example, array list of string names equals to a new array list. After creating an array list, now you want to add values to your list. You will call names dot add multi-step dot add this. You can have multiple dot add method. If you are taking values from user, you will be taking it using the scanner class. This is Java collection API. There are some differences between ArrayList versus arrays. As you can see, with arrays, you need to set the size. With ArrayList, we don't. As you are adding the value, it's increasing the size with every add value. And to access the value, you need, you are doing this part, this part with arrays, s equals to names and square bracket 0. But over here, remember, you were using the get method, list dot get and get the 0. So when it's getting you the value, it means you need to store it somewhere. And what type of value you're getting? It's a string. So you create a string variable and store that value to your string variable. Same with arrays, you created a string variable, but how you were getting the values, it was with the array name and square brackets and the index. But over here, we'll be utilizing more of the methods mentioned in our previous slides. Okay, so array list versus array. There's more examples with the loop. So for example, if you are checking something value with the starts with the B, this is your array. When you see square brackets, this is an array with your task. So I goes to 0, I is less than name dot length, I plus plus. If name I dot starts with B, do blah, 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 blah. And then if you want to get the value, this is how you do it with the array list. The bold part is array list. The lighter part is with the simple arrays. So what you do with the array list is same code, same thing can be converted. I equals to 0, I is less than list dot size. Remember, in the last couple of slides, it was mentioned that we can check the size of the array list because array list is unpredictable. If you are adding the value, size is increasing. It unlike arrays where the size is fixed and you know there will be no more than value 10 or maybe 1000 because you have set the size. So starts with B and same with the array example over here and list dot contains. This is how you do it. Okay, we are utilizing all the methods. As you can see with the array list, we're using all the methods mentioned in the previous. As I said, when you are working on array list coding, these methods will be on your fingertips because you will be coming back and forth on these slides to check. Okay, so this is the exercise. First display all words, then display them in reverse order, then display them with all plural words capitalized, display them with all plural words removed. So this is one of the tasks. Let me see if we have any more mystery questions before jumping onto the code part. This is your assignment as well. You have to read a file which is mobydick.txt, but you don't have to stick to the file. Your code must work for every file. So remove words. Think we have to move. Okay, now let's before jumping on to directly to the programming part, we should discuss more of the concept. What are the things needed? There are wrapper classes. For example, if you want to create an array list of integer, double, character, and boolean, you cannot do with these primitive data types. Java has created wrapper classes, wrapper type, because these were primitive. So we have created wrapper type, integer, double, character, and boolean. That's how you use the words to create an array list. A wrapper is an object whose sole purpose is to hold the primitive value, because you are now connecting primitive with the objects. So you need some solution to work. Your simple int double character boolean won't work with the objects. So that's why the solution is use the wrapper class of Java, which Java has created only for the primitive library we have. So if you're creating a double array list, you tell the angle brackets to type name equals to new array list, type and open close parentheses and semicolon. Grades dot add all these values. Then you want to get the values. You tell the index, get me the value at that index and return. Write a program. Okay, again, there's a program. They have to move. Here are some example. Index out of bound exception. Let me do a slideshow of this. Out of bound exception, legal indexes are between 0 and its list dot size minus 1. So if you want to know how big is your list dot size, whatever the size you get, minus 1 is the last index where your value is. So for example, if you're doing name dot get -1, there is no index as -1, it will give you an exception, your code will crash. If you say name dot add 9 at 9 index and add this value, this is what your array list currently look like. How you can add to the index 9? You cannot do it because it's wasting the memory space. What will happen to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 indexes? You don't have any value. So you cannot do this part. So if you have 9 values, add 9 values just with the add method, and you cannot choose index out of bound for your code. Here's the mystery question. Trace the code. Use the chat, trace the code. Take a look at the code. Trace the output. 5 minutes, trace the output. Type your answers. I don't see any answers. There were only one or two students type it in the direct chat. More answers. Where are your answers? I will start calling your names. It's been 5 minutes. Like if you don't know the answer, at least write don't know, still struggling, write something. Otherwise, I will start calling out your names. Not sure? So many students are not sure. What answers you're guessing? What answers you will have? This is your array list. This is what your array list looks like. What you're doing is this is an array list of integers I, index I. So it means we are skipping the index 0. I is less than equals to 10. I plus plus. List dot add, and you added all these values till 100. And you're skipping this index 0 and starting from index 1. Okay, so now what? What is the output of the following code? Int I equals to 0, I is less than list dot size, I plus plus list dot remove I, and system dot out dot println list. What will be the output? Index 0. You're removing index 0, which is 10, right? Index 10 is removed. What will be the answer? As you remove the value, rest of the things are shifted over here. So you have removed 10, so it will be 20, 30, 40, and I'll just do a little example, okay? After removing this, this is what your array list looks like. Then I plus plus, I is 1, I is 1 is less than list dot size, yes. You go inside, remove index 1. 30 is at index 1. As 30 is removed, 40 is shifted. Back on this side, you have 40, you have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100, like this. So as you are removing one after the other is removed, and the rest of the array is shifted on this side. So the output will be 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100, or are we including 100 or not? And the another thing you need to make sure is the index number is less than list dot size. As you can see, your size is also shrinking. So we have just removed, it was index 1, 1 is less than list dot size. Now I plus plus, I is now 2, 0, 1, 2. So 50 is removed and 60 is shifted. I plus plus, I is now 3, right? So 3 is less than list dot size. As you can see, oops, I just accidentally did. Okay, now I cannot edit this part. Let's draw. So this is now 3. Is 3 is less than list dot size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is, yes, it's true. I plus plus, I is now 4. Is 4 is less than list dot size? 0, 1, 2, 3. We have to remove 70 first. 80 is shifted. So 4 and the size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you have 4. 4 is less than list dot size. Yes. Then list dot remove. You have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 90 is removed. And now we have I plus plus. Your list dot size is 5. So what is your list size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is 5 is less than 5? No. So the system dot out dot println, this will be the output. Any questions? This is the answer: 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. Any questions? Yes, no? Good. Oops, this is your mystery 2. Let me remove the previous one. It doesn't erase edit. Okay. Okay. Solve this mystery now. Solve this mystery. Again, 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes, solve this mystery. Share your answers in the chat. 6, 8, 10, 1, 10. Need to keep track of the size as well, as size is shrinking or adding in both of the cases. So you need to keep track of that as well. But as you can see, this is size, list.size, still doing it okay. Okay, so we have this array 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Size equals to list.size. So what's the size right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So list.size is 5. So this size is fixed. So it means with the loop, the size will not vary. Size will remain, it's a fixed size, which will be, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So it means the loop will run that many times. List.add I is less than 42. List.add I and 42. So what is I? I is 0, add 42 at 0 index. So 42 will be added at index 2. Oops. 42 I plus plus I is 1 is less than size. What was size? This is fixed because we are not shrinking or with the size list of the size. Otherwise it will be an infinite loop if you do that part. If you do list.size and keep on adding as long the values are less than the size, because it will be an infinite loop. You are adding the values and size, this index will always be lower than whatever the size you have. So that's why we have to fix the size, and we don't have to call the method of size. So this will add 42 every time at 0 index, multiple times. How many times? 5 times. 3, 4, 5. What was the size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is less than 5. No, then it will only add 4 times, not 5 times. 4 times, because 5 is not less than 5. So we are starting with 0 index, sorry. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, one word like this. 42, 4, 4, 6, and the rest of the things are shifted forward, and this is the output. Any questions? This is the output you have. No questions so far? I think add stars I have done. Okay, so let's move on to our array mystery questions. Okay, so those questions will be kind of similar to what your quiz looks like. Okay, so that's what your quiz looks like. It's in, we are in ArrayList in Java 2. Always forget you guys are Java 2. Okay, and we have, I have posted one video on mystery questions, so do watch that video. Let me remove. Okay, annotate close, and let me reshare my screen. Array mystery, it's quite similar. You just, the code is provided and you're tracing the code. I will put you guys in breakout rooms. Let's take a look at the code. This is the array mystery question. This is the code provided. Control like this. Trace the code, trace the output. We'll put you in breakout rooms. Any questions before I put you guys in breakout rooms? Any questions? Yes, no? I have one group with 2 students. So if you want to be part of another group, do let me know. That is room 5. Otherwise, every room have 3 students. Okay, but if you want to be in a separate room where you want just for this option is just for the students uh, uh, for room 5. Okay, so if you want to be part of another group with a group of 4, it will be a group of 4, then you can be part of that. Otherwise, if you think you can solve it together, that's really good. Usually it's a pair activity. I usually put students in 2 sections, but sometimes students are not responding. The pair of 3 works good. Okay. Okay. All rooms are open, accept and start working on it. We'll meet after 10 minutes. Okay, so this is what we have done so far. We are doing a dry run of this code, and we are doing the first example 2468, and we have list 0 index list dot size 0 list dot size is 1 2 3 4, 0 is less than 4. Element is just a variable holding your value. So our first value was 2. It's holding 2. Oops, I have to do it again. So this is your array 2 4 6 8. So first element is 2, which is at 0 index. Then you have int element list dot get I. So element is just holding whatever is at index I is 0 0, you have it 2. List dot remove I. As you remove 2, everything is shifted on this side. As they're shifted, because with ArrayList, it's flexible. As you remove the value, it shrinks. The size shrinks. As you add the value, size automatically increase. Then you said list dot add element. Whenever you say add without the index, it means always add at the end of the list. So it always goes at the end, and element was holding 2. And then I plus equals to 2. So I is 0, plus equals to 2 means increment I with 2. So I is now 2. Is 2 is less than this dot size? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 is less than 4. Element equals to list dot get I. So what element is holding right now? Your I is 2, 0, 1, 2. I is holding 8. Element is holding 8. Then you said list dot remove I is 2. List dot remove to whatever you have 0 1 2. This is at index 2 remove. As you said remove, 2 is shifted on this side, but on the next line you said list dot add element. What element is holding? Element was holding 8. So 8 is added at the end of the list. So after 8 is added, then you said I plus equals to 2. I was 2 previously. 2 plus equals to 2. I is now 4. Is 4 is less than list dot size? What is list dot size? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 4 is less than 4? No. Stop the loop. This is your answer 4628. Okay. Now what's the answer for number 2? What's the answer for number 2? 20, 30, 50, 60, 40, and 10. Yes. 20, 30, 50, 60, 40. Anyone who's confused? Anyone who got a different answer? Do number 3. What's the answer for number 3? 16, 9, 64, 25, 4, 49. 136 negative 4. Yes. Students who have done, your answer is correct. The answer is yes, 16, 9, 64, 25, 4, 49, 1, 36, negative 4. Any questions so far on this? Anything that is confusing? Anyone? No? All set? Say yes or no. Okay, cool. Okay. This dot add will always add you at the end. And yeah, so no questions. Watch the videos on ArrayList programming posted on in Java your week. I think I have already made it your homepage, so you will have the access to it.